Hello, class, and welcome to today's session. We are going to continue from where we stopped in the last class. And today we'll be looking at the problems of management information system. The problems of management information system. Okay. Now, we said that certainly management information systems come with their own set of challenges and problems. This is especially when you are trying to set it up, when you are trying to introduce it, when you are trying to build it, once you are trying to create it, okay? And we've outlined some of the common issues that are actually associated with it. The first issue is data quality and integrity. Data quality and integrity. Now, inaccurate, incomplete, or inconsistent data can undermine the reliability and effectiveness of a management information system. And then data quality issues may arise also from human error, limitations, or integration problems with external sources. So now you may want to find out why data quality and integrity is a problem in MIS, okay? You may want to find why it is a problem. Number one, why it is a problem is because poor decision making. MIS actually relies on accurate data to generate reports and insights. And if data is incomplete or actually outdated or probably incorrect, managers may make decisions based on faulty information. For example, maybe a sales report with missing transaction, could actually lead to an incorrect inventory and planning and things like that. So poor decision making is one of the reasons why data quality and integrity is a problem. Another reason is operational inefficiencies. So when you have bad data, it causes delays. You have to rework and rework. It actually wastes time and wastes resources. Okay. And then example is when you duplicate customer record, it may lead to separate marketing emails, frustrating customers, and before you are able to trace it and fix it is an issue. Okay, so operational efficiency is one of the reasons why data quality and integrity is a problem. Another one is the financial losses. When you're talking about errors in financial data, example, maybe incorrect invoices, maybe pricing mistakes and things like that. All those can actually lead to revenue loss or regulatory penalties. Okay. Now, you also have loss of trust in the system. Now, if users, probably let's say managers or your employees or maybe your customers, whoever, if your users find that the MIS frequently provides unreliable data, they will actually stop trusting it. And once they stop trusting it, then what's the essence of the MIS in the first place? All right. So that also affects data integrity, right? Then you also have a compliance and legal risk. So when you have health industries or finance or some other industries that may require strict, data accuracy, for compliance, that can be a challenge. Then and so there's another one also, the integration challenges. MIS often pulls data from multiple sources. Maybe the databases, the Internet of Things, the external APIs from other sub sources. So there are integration challenge in such cases that may be an issue, especially when you have or you are faced with inconsistent formats, maybe missing fields or duplicate entries, and things like that, right? So that is it. So when we're talking about data quality and integrity, those are reasons where it affects it. And like we said earlier, how it arises is due to human error, due to either system or process issues, due to data silos fragmentation or lack of data governance and things like that. So how then do you how then do you provide solution to improve your data quality? Number one, you have to create what we call data validation rules. Example is like mandatory fields. When people are filling forms, you have to make sure these fields are mandatory and things like that. And then another one is the regular data audit and cleaning, by removing your duplicates, correcting errors, ensure that your data is entered properly. That way it can help your integrity and the quality of your data. Another one is automation and integration, especially when you want to reduce manual entry, you understand, and you want to automate everything, that will help. Then when you have strong data governance by defining standards, maybe roles and responsibilities and some things like that. Employee training and ensuring proper data handling. All these things are ways that you can actually improve data quality. Now, the other one is security risks. Okay, security risk. MIS stores and process sensitive organizational data, okay, making it a very prime target for cyber threats such as hacking, malware, and even data breaches. So when you have inadequate security measures, when you have weak authentication protocols, and maybe insider threats, they pose very significant risk to data confidentiality, integrity, and availability as that. Now, let me continue. Remember, we said management information system actually store, process, and distribute critical data. Okay. Um, we remember that because data is of high value, there are cyber threats, there are data breaches, and there are unauthorized access to such. So, like we said, security risk can lead to a lot of financial losses, reputational damage, legal penalties, and even operational disruptions. Okay. And why is security a major problem in MIS? Why is it a major problem? Number one, cyber attacks and data breaches. MIS database contain very sensitive information. And we're talking about financial records. We're talking about customer data. We're talking about trade secrets, and things like that. Okay. So when you have attacks like hacking, somebody accesses these resources without authorization to steal or to manipulate it, it's a problem. Or when you have attacks like malware or ransomware, where somebody logs into and locks the entire data until maybe a ransom is paid. Or when you have attacks like phishing, when you're talking about employees being tricked into revealing certain login credentials, all these ones are attacks. And all the threat actor may need is just a single breach, just one. He does not need all of them. He may just need one, and one breach can cost millions of damage. All right. So it is a problem because of cyber attacks and data breaches. Another reason that is a problem is what we call the insider threats, where you talk about employees, contractors, or partners with actual malicious intention, or maybe they have negligence. that can be a threat. Another security issue is when you have weak access controls, poor password policies or lack of multi-factor authentication, or probably excessive user privileges and things like that. That will be a problem. Number four is when you're talking about what do you call it, system vulnerabilities. And basically, it's talking about maybe outdated software, patches, security flaws on your system, on your storage, or even on your applications. That may be a problem. We're also looking at number five, data interception and man in the middle. It is a security problem. When you have unsecure network flows that allows hackers to intercept data in transit, it is a problem. You also have compliance and legal risk, all right? Then all those are issues. Now, how security risk factors can actually impact the effectiveness on your management information system. You have what we call the loss of data integrity. So hackers can alter the records, leading to wrong business decisions. Okay, that's an issue. Or you're talking about system downtime. When you have ransomware or DDoS attack, they can halt operations on your network. Okay, or maybe you have what we call reputational damage. Customers can lose trust after maybe a breach has occurred. So what are some of the solutions you can do to mitigate on this? So what are some of these solutions that you can use to mitigate on this security risk? One of it is strong authentication control. Okay, strong authentication control is when you are using multi-factor. Just a minute. Okay, so multi-factor authentications for all users, or where you have what we call the role-based access control to limit unnecessary privileges. There are solutions that can help you. Or when you're talking about the regular security audits and updates, patch management, how to fix software vulnerabilities and things like that. When you're talking about data encryption, how to encrypt your data and things like that. Employee training awareness, backup and disaster recovery, and things like that. All these are very important aspects that needs to be looked at when it comes to security breach. Okay. Another major problem in MIS is cost overruns. Now, implementing and maintaining a robust management information system infrastructure actually requires like substantial investment in hardware, software, and probably personal training. Unforeseen costs as customization, upgrades and scalability can actually lead to budget overruns and financial strains. Okay. Then you have another challenge called the user resistance. When you're talking about resistance from users who are accustomed to manual process or legacy systems such as that can actually impede MIS adoption and utilization. A lack of user training, a poor user interface design, and a perceived loss of control, may contribute largely to resistance and low acceptance. We also have another problem, complexity and overwhelm. The complexity of the MIS system with their multitude of features, functionalities, and data virtualization tools can overwhelm users and decision makers. So when you have information overload and cognitive biases, may actually hinder this effective decision making and hinder the system usefulness, right? Maintenance challenge. Regular maintenance, updates, and troubleshooting are essential to ensure the smooth operation of MIS. You know, when you're talking about technical issues, you're talking about software boards and system failures, all of those can disrupt your business. They can affect the operations and may require prompt resolution, right? Then another challenge is scalability limitation. You know, MIS designed for specific organizational needs may lack scalability to accommodate growth. You know, challenges in business processes or technological advancement. Scalability issues may arise from, you know, architectural constraints, data volume limitations, or even performance uh, bottlenecks. You know, all those things are scalability. Okay. So now, if we ask the question, why scalability is also a problem in MLS, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is like performance degradation, you know, under increased load. Your performance is reducing, is deteriorating because the load on it is much. You know, you have more users, you have more transactions, you have more data added to the system. You begin to see your speed declining, you see your systems begin to fail and things like that. You know, that is a problem. That is a problem. And you need to think about that as you are setting up your MIS. And then when you're talking about hardware, another issue is the hardware and infrastructure constraints. So many, you know, legacy MIS rely on maybe, let's say, outdated servers or maybe what we call on-prem setup. On-prem means that you're setting up the server in your location on your premises. You know, some people also prefer to maybe set it up in the cloud, you know. So their infrastructure may be a constraint. If that is the case, then it can also lead to scalability issues. You know, like we said earlier about architectural limitations of the softwares. If the software is poorly designed, you know, that may be a problem. Another area that will cause limitation, scalability limitation, is data storage, you know, and processing bottlenecks. You understand? That can be. And another challenge is when you're talking about integration challenge with new technologies. All right. Older MIS may not actually support modern tools. You know, that is a problem, you know. And how does this affect these problems? How do they affect the business or impact the business? One, you see operational inefficiency. Your system will be slow, delay workflows, you know, that affects your system. Then you have poor user experience. You know, the people, your employees, your customers, the people that are faced with usage of this facility, you know, they will have poor usage, poor experience. And then you have increased IT cost, you know, because you are trying to fix small problems here and there, here and there, here and there, in order just to see that the system becomes better. That becomes a challenge. And then inability to support growth, that's a problem. So what solutions do you recommend or would we recommend to improve the scalability? Number one is cloud migration and elastic resources. Cloud migration and elastic resources. Okay, so If you use that, it helps. The second one is modular or microservices architecture. When you're building or you are designing it, you don't put everything in one place. You modularize it. Each module is different. That will help. And then you also have database optimization. Okay, that will help. And then load balancing, and then regular performance of testing and things like that. So all these ones can help in scalability limitation. Then another problem of MIS is lack of alignment with business objective. Lack of alignment with business objective. So MIS initiatives that are not aligned with organizational goals and strategic priorities may fail to deliver tangible business values. When you have poorly defined requirements, you have a misalignment between the IT and the business stakeholders, and then shifting priorities all can lead to misdirect efforts and wasted resources. Okay. Then you have regulatory compliance burden. Ensuring compliance with data privacy regulations, industry standards, and internal policies adds complexities and overhead to MIS implementation and operation. So non-compliance, risk penalties, legal liabilities, and reputational damage, necessitating ongoing monitoring and compliance measure. So in summary, in conclusion, while management information system offer numerous benefits, addressing these challenges is essential to maximize their effectiveness and value to the organization. So strategies such as data governance, user training, cybersecurity measures, and regular performance evaluations can actually help to mitigate these problems and ensure the successful implementation and operation of management, right? So I want to thank you very much for being part of today's class. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section, and then I will reach out to you. So this is where we'll call it a day. Have a good day.